Hi there, I'm Gordon Pilcher. I'm back again with another video. This time I want to just sort of cover a few things, the transport fever in the way of, my screens are going to be a little bit odd because of that. I've got to, just the way I've got to set it up because I was having a few problems with my GPU, and until I can replay, I've got to turn certain graphics down, and so things are going to look a little bit odd, but I can actually show how to get some of these little issues that have been showing up in Transport Fever Nation, people with mods. I'm not going to say I will resolve every issue. Do have a little bit of experience. I've got close to 4,500 hours and knocked up 44 out of 61 of the achievements. But I have the luxury of having time on my hands. So I do a little bit of experimenting with the game. I don't write mods. I'm not that skilled. What we're going to do is just go to the Steam Workshop briefly. And most people know how to use the Steam Workshop. In fact, if the mod's in the Steam Workshop, it's probably the easiest way to install a mod. You don't have to worry about downloading zip files, unpacking them and place them in certain directories. Now, there are certain people certain things we go after. So you will have your favourites. Like I've gone for a lot of British stuff, and we'll see if we can get into some of Ingo's stuff. I actually have been a fan of him for a long time. He's offline, probably asleep on the other side of the world. So, but you can get it and go through all his different mods. His stuff is really good. We've also got this one here. I'll just scroll, if you have a look. And the reason I went to a backtrack, I was trying to find something on this where I've just been working on. But anyway, these are different ways. The thing is with this one, system here, is that you down, we'll be able to see all the Joel's stuff here. With his industries, you can't run the two, version 1 and version 2 simultaneously, otherwise it just doesn't work correctly. But as you can see, there's stuff here for City Scholar, but I'm primarily looking at Transport Fever here. Let's close that a minute. Sometimes you can actually search a modder's name. Okay, Ingo dash. Now, I can assure you all of us are safe, but occasionally there's another mod you want to link to. But this is what I'm saying, doing it from Steam. I won't go through. I do have. I think I've got all of his. But doing them through Steam here. The way to find Ingo stuff is just like when you want to use any of his fences. I'll show you something here. These will require having other mods installed not that one. Trying to think which one it was. I'm just going to go back here and check something. Yeah, I'm subscribed to it. I'll just add it because I'm pretty sure I've got it, but the little tick will actually tell you whether you have it installed. I'm just looking for the one with the fences because I know it does require only vehicles. This one here is always good for vehicles. Here's a stone wall add-on. Okay, so you want fences and you want those downloaded. So what you do is you go to there, find it, right? All these things can get a bit embedded too, so you subscribe, you add to your collection. Now I know I have those, so. And from there, that was one of them. Close that. Go back. Go back. But to be double sure on what you're doing here, like there are how did I get into all that? To accidentally shut something down. But yeah, you can get to. Oh, they've gone on through here. That's another industry mod there. But yeah, once you download something, you're going to download it to a your download folder and then copy it across. Come into you like I'm on D drive on my computer. You want down to user data and into there, and your mods. So you gotta put your mod into here and then unpack it, and these will install. This is also where your recordings and anything when if you do an in-game video. But always remember it's in the you'll have a number like that, which is your Steam number. Now, Snowball is one you're going to have to. If you're looking for any of his mods, I accidentally put that one in the wrong spot, but it doesn't matter because I corrected it. It's where your screenshots are all kept. I didn't really need to click that. So yeah, you got this embedded stuff there. Just let that, otherwise I don't want to do something stupid and everything crash. But I'll show you how to check when you've been through a situation. Register that. Nope. Goodbye. Yeah. So anyway, what I'm going to do, it's just some of the, but I personally, when you'll find a lot of stuff. If you want to do it depends what your in game is. But I find this really, you can really dress it up, and and invariably, if you follow him on YouTube, he'll show you how you can get the most out of these. Except the problem is I have with Ingo is he speaks German, and I've had a few jokes with him over the time. Can he do? Can he speak? Apparently, he can speak English, but he's not confident in doing it. So, and invariably, if you turn the speech on, it always prints the speech over where you're trying to watch the. I'm going to go into Map Editor here. I want to show you. We're going to go into Settings. Those big train stations that I say, that's them there, and you'll see me using. Now, if you want to know whether something's, so just say hypothetically, you've uninstalled everything, right, and you're putting everything back. Snowball you can get on Steam. These little icons here are mods you've downloaded as a zip file and then unpack them. We're running 800 here at the moment. It's turned on and it does work. I'm just trying to think of one I know for sure. That record. Okay, let's just do a hypothetical here. If I want to check these, and I need that kind of, now, you just scroll down, it'll tell you whether to make it work. It's a building kit. I mean, you could use it, any of these kits you can. Yeah, you can build, it's kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? It's, I'm going to turn that on. Clearly I don't have it on. And we have another one here. The reason I'm showing you this is that to make, if you want to make something work, sometimes you'll need another component. They're kind of cool, but they take a bit of I don't want to turn any of that stuff on because that messes up my long stations. Let's go down and find Ingo, so I know. What I can do is I can just type in Ingo. Why I'm doing this is that as you install these, just be sure you've got everything that you need there to make it work. So it tells you want fences, and you need the greenhouse asset. So make sure you got them installed. That if you got one of those components missing, you are going to have issues. But if you're going to do any kind of fencing, make sure you have always make sure you spell it correctly. Snowball. Any kind of fence. What it does, he actually sets up here. That is the fundamentals of setting up fences where you want power, but they're particularly downloaded files, so you're gonna, you'll have to search them on one of the other forums, not at Steam. See, there's the fence, but to run those fences you need these other components. So obviously you're going to one of the other. If you Google Transport Fever to mods, it'll come up. There's some that are held at on different Transport Fever forums, so you can actually access them. But yeah, that's here can be a reason why we get a lot of crashes, you know. And if you're doing when I do a reset, the first thing I do is I type in MESH. There's a young Lennon one there, and I'll show you. It's actually a and I've seen it occasionally where people have had problems with British rolling stock. This here is critical for not all of it, but I found a lot of it. So you want mesh labels and set that back up first. The two things that I always set up right from the outset, I do that, I go snowball. This is a really cool mod. If you want to do any forestry, you draw a little circle. Well, just things that add to it, but the power line one is I can't show it from here. To show how it works, I'd have to go in game. But basically, what I'm trying to get you to understand is that as you reinstall stuff, particularly if it's got the Steam logo, go off and check, right? So to turn this on, you want the Euston Station mod, the old King's Cross. Now I'm going to just say something here. You turn those on, you can run that Nary Believe, or whatever it was called. I'll go back and show it to you. These are all those bigger stations. No, there's one called Larger. So I mean, and you got to be a little careful when you start. If you do like the big stations, you start running some of the other station mods. Actually, they will overwrite it and turn this off. So you can get. I'll just pop that up. So you can sort of see. Now, I'm not saying you should run these. It is entirely your choice, you know, if you want to, what you do. But what I'm saying to you, it's important that you get all this. Go down as you install a mod. Like it would take me for it to do this. I'll be honest with you, if I uninstall everything and reinstall, I basically spend a day going back through it and thought I had them installed. See, they are subscribed in the collection, they're just not enabled. And it's easy for me to do this and show you rather than actually try and spend 10-15 minutes trying to type it into a post somewhere. And I didn't look at that clearly. Let's just scroll down to make sure it doesn't require any other components. See what happens, somebody will write a mod and they'll use that as the base of their mod, right? So both of these run independent. It'll depend on the modder. So yeah, as you go through, just spend the time. These ones are a little bit harder to do, so I actually do have it written down. You can't click on it. It's a download file on your drive in your user data. So I hope that helps, because these are a lot of the reasons we have. I'm surprised I don't have these turned on. Okay, you'll get a little instruction video or.
Moin Moin zusammen, hier ist wieder der Bloody und heute habe ich für euch eine kleine Mod-Vorstellung und zwar für meinen zweiten Mod, den ich jetzt überhaupt erstellt habe. Es geht darum, wie ihr schon sehen könnt, ich habe die Baumkategorie hier bei den offen. Ich habe hier ein Baumtool gemacht im Prinzip, beziehungsweise ich habe das bestehende Baumtool erweitert und zwar um die typischen Bäume, die man im Boden versenkt, damit man Büsche bekommt und so heißt auch meine Mod Bloody Rules Büsche. Denn man kennt es ja, wenn man eben einen Bahndamm oder sowas irgendwie ausschmücken will, dann geht man immer hin, nimmt diese Bäume vom guten Loken, der aus dem Baummod, die man einzeln als Asset nehmen kann, die man dann im Boden versenkt und dann daraus mit mehreren nebeneinander eine schöne Gebüschoptik hinbekommt. Das wirkt natürlich alles viel lebendiger und sieht auch echt geil aus, aber der Nachteil ist, man muss jeden Baum einzeln setzen und das kostet Zeit ohne Ende. Und um das Ganze einfach zu beschleunigen und dass es aber trotzdem gleich gut aussieht, habe ich eigentlich damals mal eine Anfrage gemacht beim Transport für Net Forum. Hat leider aber keiner irgendwie sich dem angenommen. Und dann, als ich jetzt letztens, Spacki hat ja die Bäume,
Yeah, I couldn't find it where to go back in there, but yeah, even with 4,500 hours, you can still make mistakes. So it's. And when this didn't exist, that's the one I'm currently using. Save these, but the thing is, you can turn everything off here. Disable it, but once you've saved it, you come back and unload it. You got this. These here. This is all changed in around about May 2022. A lot of it. I mean, all this is in different places. Town names. You get to choose your town names. As long as they're installed in your mods, you can actually download extra ones. Go back here. I'm pretty sure. See, I've got an Australian place name, and I'll probably also have a New Zealand one. If they were installed, and you'll find them in the. But always do your Steam check before you get into here. You can't install them because you need to download in Steam before you kick the game off, otherwise they don't show up. But yeah, that's just, the other settings are here. So if I had turned either the Australian or the New Zealand one, I tend to run the English normally if I remember to turn it off. But you see, you've also got these default settings, which none of these were available before. I haven't had time to play around with it. You've got your game difficulty, your environment, and your vehicles. You got your mods back here, which you can load and save. And so I've obviously been playing around with it a bit. So what you do is you set it up and work out what works. Get the things that you like, and then you can modify it and do whatever you like with it. And unsubscribe means that it actually literally turns it off. You can't see it again. Literally. Now, I lived there for 45 years, and there's names in there I can't even pronounce. I don't know whether they're not spelt quite right, but yeah. So you've got this would take you into where you basically create your own map. Now I've been having problems running out of GPU resources. I mean, the computer itself, just oi, be cooperative. Now, you can have the best computer, you know, all the hardware, all the goodies, but if you can have one component, like I've just found that the GPU that I fitted here, which was good at the time, you know, which was it's now 2 years old. You gonna work? Where'd it go? And you know, there's nothing wrong with that processor for playing this game. As you can see, we've got plenty of RAM, and this is where the system's falling down. We've only got 6 gigabytes of graphics, and it causes issues in the game. But yeah, like the computer wasn't actually built for gaming. You tend to spec your computers for gaming. That's the card I'm running, and I've now found a more reliable one that I can't remember what it's called, which is running at 12 gigabytes. That then frees up a lot of the computer's capacity, you know. And the only reason I was able to find it out was by going through the system resources, spent you know, a few hours. But in here we turned, when I say we, my son and I went through this and turned some of this down, and what causes the problem is that the computers actually can see a 4K monitor. So it'll default to 4K. So to make it work realistically, I had to turn it down to 1080. I still want it to run full screen, but yeah. So always bear in mind, go through turn some of the, check on any of the reviews or forums. Find out what people are saying. I mean, I read a little forum the other day. I can't remember exactly what it said. You've also got a list stuff. You can turn. Sometimes just turning it down. Okay, your screen is not going to be picture perfect, but when you do that, but the game's reliability will be on your side when you do it. Always keep my auto saves. I find you can lose a lot in 10 minutes, but 5 minutes is too frequent. That's the in-game camera tool there. Turn these on because if you do get crashes, it does send a report to the developers where they can actually do any little adjustments that need to be done. This takes you to that user data, just saying you got your recordings in here. That's all your in-game. In-game video. So if you're not sure, if you can't remember where to go to, open the game up and just click on here. You got your crash dump. The text files you can open up and read them. Just trying to think nothing else. It's different height maps you're working on. Now, if you know how to modify some of this, you can change stuff within them. Oh, yeah. No, I'll rephrase. This is all your saved mod sets, right? The one I'm using at the moment is the old. So that's a record of everything I've got saved in here. They're the current mods I'm running. Now I'm not going to go through it and try and read it all to you because it's kind of irrelevant to you. And this is what happens if you've got 0 mods turned on. Well, you might have something like no cost or something like that. So this is we're getting into the back of the game here. So you're going to have just if you're not sure, you can set your change the language you use. Your different measurements and text and all the stuff's in here. Yeah, I didn't mean to come into all this part, but I'm just your audio's in here. It sets up the game audio. I'm going to take it up a little bit. Not that it was too quiet, but you can turn the bulldozer and the construction sounds off altogether if you want to. You can also have music. I'm not a big fan of music. Click apply. Then you can go back and load old games. You may have been working on a game a few months back. You find if you remember what you called it, what you saved it as, you can go back and reload it. I have never. I think you can actually share a saved game to Steam through here. I'm not going to say that's for real because I have never done it. But it also tells you what mods are running, what mod set you have running in these games. There's that thing where you can go off. There's that mesh bells things, right? Mesh labels, not mesh bells, but mesh labels. So if you're loading that, you've got to make sure that's installed. Otherwise, that is not going to work. It will crash. You can also add mods in a game from here. Pretty sure. No, somebody was saying they sort of had that. If you remove it, it'll crash the game. That's why those are there. So if you've got a game running and you take them out, yeah, sure, she's going to crash. She's history. You ain't going to get back in there again. Just be real careful before you go taking stuff out, you know. Now, I'm trying to think. I did add, when I was playing around before. Now I can add any of these in here, and some of them will pick up and run. I was trying to think what I was looking at before when we were in this area. I'm just trying to work out whether I can add it to this current game. Mental blank what it was. Oh, these ones. Now they're both in there. They'll just make sure they haven't come up with any. Now, see if I was to take it out once, now it's added. Now, wanted that one in there, right? I've already got the yeah, so it says do not add that one. That one there would take it out. So yeah, bear in mind this is where you can get yourself into. I don't want any of that because that messes up those other stations that I was doing. Yeah, so I'm hoping that this will help you. But yeah, just don't go through and knock those things out. And the only time you actually see them is when you. See, I'm actually looking at the current game that I'm in. Right, that's the game I'm currently playing. The game I'm currently playing is a little bit different too. I normally would never start in 1850 because I'm not a fan of having to go back after the fact and electrify and bring rails up to speed. But I did this time because I'm playing with that EOL's industry mod. So yeah, that's. I I don't want to start it. I've turned it on, but that's as far as it's gone. So you got the free game, which is where I started this current one. Think of this, it'll actually, there are little advantages here. That if you went to say a megalomaniac, and a 1x4 is actually the biggest map that you can go to, 1x4, because it actually gives you greater square kilometres than, actually that's, if we're a megalomaniac, so you got 12 by 48, so it's 48 down here. If you would actually go to a calculator and calculate it out, 1/4 is actually greater than this one. There's a little bit you lose. You're losing on one side and gaining on the other. I'm trying to think which. So that's 12 by 48, right? Talking 12 kilometres across. The other one is 10.5. Losing that 1.5 kilometres over that distance means that you lose out. So the biggest map you can go to is that, the 1.4. And I sat down, literally went through and before I ran a whole lot of, I was running as many mods as what I am currently. I went through to find out what was the biggest possible map I could actually get away with. We're not going to run that. But anyway, yeah, so I hope that's sort of been helpful, because yeah, I'm seeing where people are making little mistakes and trying to work out mods and issues, but then I'll say they're having a problem with the computer's really high spec. It depends what you call high spec. You can have lots of RAM. Like as I say, 64 gig on a PC is pretty good, and it's got a downfall. It misses the mark when it comes to the GPU. And like, if you're going to do a computer build yourself a good solid desktop, but always remember the GPU is one of the most expensive parts of your build. So I aim, build around having a good GPU, because it's where you're actually looking for a visual. And when you're playing a game, it's a very visual thing. It's not just all the information that goes on in the background. And just while I'm on that, the current game that started out with, just give you an idea, I think it was about 5,000 people in 1850. And it does grow over time as you get new buildings and stuff. And the game actually keeps a record of every person. It keeps a record of where they live. It keeps a record of where they go to commercial, go to shopping, and also keeps a record of their workplace. And every one of those 5,000 people have got a name. They could be Fred Smith or Jim Black or whatever. That information's stored in the game. So when you get into big maps, you get a lot more people. It's a lot of data that you're working with in the background behind the graphics, from that you don't see in the graphic side of it. So yeah, you've got to remember your processing power is really important, and if you want it to look good, graphics power is really important. There's another guy in Transport Fever Nation who's probably better qualified to speak on the computer, the build that you're looking at. Is a guy called Tony Elliott, and I've known Tony for about 20 years. He's a computer tech, so if you're looking in that, message him if you need to, because Elliot. I think it was double ELLIOTT. But anyway, you'll see him on there. But have a talk to some of these guys. You know, see if you can squeeze a bit of information out about what you're doing, and just be wary about not pulling stuff out. Make sure that if you're running something like fences or those trains, that you've got the mesh labels there. You've got all the other components that particular mod you're using is built upon. So yeah, that's about all I've got to say on that particular one, and I'm going to dive out of here now, and I'll say goodbye. I can catch you. See you, bye.